Joanne Chesimard. Have you heard of my sister? Assata Shakur. A political prisoner. She is looked upon now as a domestic terrorist. I met her when I was in Cuba. I talked with my sister. She terrorizes nobody. Why then would the Justice Department of the government of the United States make this sister a domestic terrorist? Here's what Joanne Chesimard said. I'm using her slave name, but I'm going to quote something from her. Her real name, that is an African name, Assata Shakur. She said that it means one who struggles, who fights for her people. She's now 65 years of age. They are offering $2 million for her capture. And now that she's labeled as a domestic terrorist, will our government find out where she lives and send a drone to kill her? Will you send people into Cuba to try to harm her and bring her back to America as a domestic terrorist? Listen to what she said. I had long ago become convinced that revolution was a science. Generalities were no longer enough for me. Like my comrades, I believed that a higher level of political sophistication was necessary and that unity in the black community had become a priority. We could never afford to forget the lessons we had learned from the counterintelligence program of the United States government. As far as I was concerned, building a sense of national consciousness was one of the most important tasks that lay ahead of us. I couldn't see how we could seriously struggle without having a strong sense of collectivity, without being responsible for and to each other. She went on to say, hip-hop can be a very powerful weapon. It was so powerful. I'm digressing from her words, that the enemy sought to turn it from a weapon of consciousness for our people into a weapon that glorified thug life, that glorified drug life, that glorified where the enemy had placed us in what Dr. King called a sanctuary of criminal activity. She goes on to say, the government recognized immediately that rap music has enormous revolutionary potential. Certain politicians got on the bandwagon to attack rappers like Sister Soldier. Do you remember her? And NWA. You've got various police organizations across the country that have openly expressed their hostility toward rap artists. For them, most rappers fall in the category of potential criminals, cop killers, or subversives. Sister Assata Shakur says, I am a black revolutionary woman. And because of this, I have been charged with and accused of every alleged crime in which a woman was believed to have participated. The alleged crimes in which only men were supposedly involved. I have been accused of planning. They have plastered pictures alleged to be me in post offices, airports, hotels, police cars, subways, banks, television, and newspapers. They have offered, at that time of her writing, over $50,000 in rewards for my capture. And now, as I forestated, their reward is $2 million. And they have issued orders to shoot on sight and shoot to kill. Let me ask a question. What happened in the Justice Department that you would label my sister a domestic terrorist? What did she do? She's been in Cuba for nearly 30 years. Who did she terrorize? Who did she involve in a plot to overthrow this government that you could label her a domestic terrorist? My. Some of you have said you believe that she's been feeding stuff to people that are against the government of America. You believe? You don't classify people on a belief. You classify people on actual facts. What are the actual facts of our sister living in Cuba because she can't come back to the place of her birth because of what you have falsely labeled her? I am really disappointed that our president and our Justice Department under Mr. Holder would allow our sister to be named a domestic terrorist.